video by Maluda, who's actually from Japan. She works at Pixiv, and yeah, she sent us a video for Touhoucon to watch, and please enjoy.
Hi, I'm Maluda. I was invited by Touhoucon as a guest. I'd like to tell you about how this one series of shooter games called Touhou Project inspired and changed my life. So, let me tell you about myself. I'm a Taiwanese American born in San Francisco, and I've lived in California my entire life up until last year. So I was always into games, anime, comics. For everything I got into, I really loved looking for fan art. I'm completely obsessed with fictional women. So, back in 2003, there was nothing like DeviantArt in Japan, so artists uploaded their fan art to their own websites. At the time, I figured I'd never meet these artists because, I couldn't speak Japanese, I'd never left the US. We lived in completely different worlds, or so I thought, and I'm pretty glad I was wrong. So I started getting into Touhou in 2007. A friend of mine was like, hey, there's this game I think you'd like. It's a fighting game with girls, all girls. And I was like, well, I like fighting games. I like fictional women, sign me up. So the game was really, really fun, so I looked up more information about it. So let me tell you about the game. Touhou Project is a series of vertical shooting games created by a one-man army named Zoom, under a group or team name of Team Shanghai Alice, it's just one guy. The games are set in modern Japan, but take place inside a sealed-off land called Touhoucon, and it's inhabited by humans and mythical creatures called yokai. This world was so interesting to me that I searched for more information and found Touhoucon.org. I realized that I had actually seen Touhou characters before and just didn't recognize them at the time. So in my early obsession, I was so absorbed into knowing more that I didn't talk to anybody for an entire weekend while I read Touhou Doujinshi and everything in the Touhou Wiki at Touhoucon. So from that day on, I pretty much constantly played the games, read the doujins, listened to the music, talked about it to all my friends. It was a Touhou life, everything. So, I draw pigs, right? So I had to draw Touhou. I started out drawing Yonu, but eventually all I drew was Alice Marjorie. She became my favorite character. Then a friend of mine was like, hey, you want to try cosplaying? And I was like, yeah, I'd like to cosplay. So what series do you want to cosplay? Well, if you're going to ask me, it's going to be Touhou, right? So for a very long time, all of my cosplays were of Touhou characters. And then cosplay led me to go to conventions. So I met quite a few people at conventions, and a few of them were artists who tried to convince me to join art selling. So I was like, why not? So I started making Touhou books, merchandise, especially buttons, and I met even more people. But around the same time, this website called Pixiv grew really, really popular. All of my favorite artists started using it, and everyone was drawing Touhou at the time. Like, no matter what series I started following them after, they're drawing Touhou now. And at the time, the Touhou tag was the second largest after original art. So I joined too, and I started uploading all of my Alice art. And, Twitter was also becoming really popular in Japan at the time, so I started using my Twitter account to follow these Japanese artists. My account was full of English tweets, so I didn't expect anyone to follow me back, but a few did. And they were like, oh, is that a foreigner who draws only Alice Marjorie? So one day, an artist wrote, Tadaima, which means, I'm home. And I thought, wait, I know the answer to this. It's Okaide Nasai, so I wrote that back, which means, welcome home. Suddenly, that artist wrote back a huge paragraph of Japanese, and I started freaking out because I didn't understand anything. So I took out Japanese textbooks, a dictionary that was lying around my room, and I tried to figure out how to compose a reply that I was a fan of their work. This led a ton of curious Japanese artists following me back after I sent that message. And of course, I had to tweet, this is the most international day of my life. Little did I know that this, would be the rest of my life. I started looking up all the words they were writing every day and somehow ended up accidentally learning Japanese. So, during my conversations with these artists, they kept joking that I should visit. So I did. I ended up meeting all of them that I thought I'd never see. Remember when I said, about 2003, I was never going to meet them? Well, I was wrong. So now that I'm in Japan, visiting and stuff, they were like, let's go to karaoke. So I started getting introduced to karaoke, and I really enjoyed it. One of my friends, sang karaoke with me and was like, hey, why don't you come and sing on stage at our cosplay event in Hiroshima? And that's what I'm going to be doing for the first time ever next week. So, actually, I didn't plan on moving to Japan, but I felt a really strong connection to my friends, but it was just not strong enough to move. However, after the March 11th earthquake, I felt like I really needed to be with everyone. So I started looking for jobs in Japan. I eventually landed a job at Pixiv. I mean, who would have thought that I'd join the same company that helped me find, all my friends. So now that I'm in Japan, I decided to start publishing doujinshi because every single time I visited Japan, my friends would always give me their books, and I had nothing to give back. So this is my chance to give back. So I only moved to Japan last year, but I've released 5 books since then. You can even find those books in Touhoucon or in some of the physical stores. So what I'm trying to say is, I hope Toho inspires you as much as it inspired me.
So, what do you think about Toho artists drawing Kakule now?
Actually, my favorite character is Hiei.
Working? Oh, hey. Well, yeah, we'd like to thank Beluda for sending us this video, and then we would also like to say thank you to Twitch, who provided the live stream for our game for our gaming room, as well as Pocky. Remember, did you find Pocky in all your bags? Thank Pocky for giving us all that.
A lot of Pocky.
A ton of Pocky. They were so delicious.
Yes. Playing with the Pocky boxes into the hall right now.
They're making like a yin yang room in the hallway out of Pocky boxes.
Really?
Picture of Carl T.
This is the best picture I've ever seen. And then we would also like to thank Lyft for providing those carpool services and for giving us $25 off for your next ride. And as well as 5 Horse Cosplay for providing prizes especially for Masquerade that happened yesterday. And STG Weekly, who pretty much manned the Olive Gaming Hall. So we'd like to thank these sponsors for this.
Would also like to thank China Dojin Group, who helped us create a lot of production for this convention, including your program guides and your badges and all that. Moisha Rinki for the art licensing, which allows us to use the art you see on the program guide and on the card. The badge and the little arc around our exhibit hall. League of Legends, who actually was not here today. Sorry about that. And then Studio Works for DJing for us and helping us set up our dance hall. And Gensokyo Radio, Radio Yokai, Toho FM, and Toho Tuesday for their radio broadcasting systems. So, yeah.
Social radio.
Thank you for coming. The closing ceremony is now closed, as well as Touhoucon. Thank you for coming, and we hope to see you next year. Thank you, everyone.
If I can say something, I'm sorry to hold you here, but is it cool if I just get like a video of us all right here? Like, this is so hype, it's crazy.
Also, if anyone's interested in volunteering, we'll have sign-ups opening shortly. So, yeah.
Alright, so it would be totally awesome if everyone said, "This is Touhoucon, we rock, you suck." Alright. Jesus checking in from Touhoucon.
Touhoucon, we rock, and you suck!
I love every single one of you. Except
We all
me
love
and-
Jesus, man.
And then Miku Expo next month.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
I'm not gonna handle it. No, just it's gonna shoot. Yeah, I should. I'll probably buy pre-rack and volunteer.